Winter is unforgiving at the best of times. When you're sleeping out in London, it gets bitterly cold in December. This was 1967, and I'd been in the streets for about 5 months. And one day, someone told me that there were toilets at Piccadilly Circus, that if I could find a cubicle, I'd get a more comfortable sleep for the night and a bit of warmth. So I tried night after night, and never could I find an empty cubicle. One night, I went in, tapped all the doors, all occupied, and finally, the last door opened. So I immediately went in and closed the door firmly behind me. I was just about to doze off when there was a knock on the door. And a voice, speaking with real received pronunciation, said, "Excuse me, would you have room for one tonight?" And I was astonished, A, by the interruption, and B, by the tone of his voice. He sounded like someone who come from the House of Lords. Anyway, I let him in and he found a space, sitting, from one side of the toilet to the other. And we talked for 5 hours. Not a single wink of sleep was to be had. And he told me why he was out in the streets. And it was a story and a lesson that has never left me since. You see, he'd been very wealthy. He'd lived, I think, in Middlesex near Stanmore. And he was wealthy. He had a wife who he loved and a little girl who was 4 years old. And he would lavish gifts upon them, but rarely spent time because he was always at work making money. And one day, on his wife's birthday, he drove into the driveway with a brand new sports car. Called his wife. She came out with the daughter and he said, "Darling, this is for you for your birthday. Take it out a spin and take the wee girl with you. And when you come back, I've got another surprise." So he waved them off down the driveway and they turned into the main road. He never set eyes on them again. They did a tree, and both lives were taken in an instant. Now, he was out in the streets with a smile on his face after 7 years, because he said, "That day, I knew that the most important thing for me was my wife and child. They consumed all my love. Money meant nothing. And I cursed myself for spending so much time making money and not enough time with the people who I so dearly loved." So he left everything and he'd been on the streets for 7 years. He carried them in his heart and he felt happy that he was serving his belief that money was far less important than love and dear ones. And he asked me what really mattered to me. And I said, I just want to be myself. I want to be the creative person I think I am and play my music. And one day I want to set up a business. And he said, "You're a good man. I love the way you speak. Go off and fulfill your passion. But never," he said, "put money before what you do and the love of what you do." And he said, money is a consequence of doing something you love and doing it well. It's never an end in itself. That has never left me. I have never seen money as an end game. It's merely a vehicle to spend on things that really are important. When I look at our greed today, I think, I wish that man was here now to tell that story, because it moved me and it changed my outlook on life forever.